Hey, Dale, before we start, we've got some late breaking news.
Yeah, so this all happened after the recording of this episode. So we thought we'd chime back in and give you a pretty exciting news.
Yeah, because it's exciting because it's a total surprise. Netflix has announced that they are dropping the first 4 episodes of the final season of Grace and Frankie.
That's right.
Yeah, so they're out today. You can watch them. This is going to be, the 7th season is going to be 16 episodes long.
Wow.
So you got 4 now. The remaining 12 won't drop until early 2022.
That's right.
But also, I think we talked about on our other show how finally Dolly Parton is going to guest star on this season.
Right.
I don't think it's in these first 4 episodes, so it's going to be later in the rest of the season. But of course, they haven't worked together since 9 to 5. Her,
right.
Lily Tomlin, Jane Fonda. It's a great comedy, and if you guys haven't seen it, you can binge the whole thing. That's what Binge Bum's all about, right?
That's right.
Yeah, it'll take up your whole entire weekend. All right, now on with the show.
It's the Binge Bum Podcast. Whoa, it's time to talk about our favorite shows from all the streaming networks all across the globe, from Netflix to Hulu to Disney Plus and HBO. Get ready for fun and lots of show reviews. It's Binge Bum coming to you.
Hello, Bums. It's another Friday.
It is a very significant Friday because it's Friday the 13th.
It is. This only happens, once, twice a year?
A couple, it depends on the year.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, it's episode 29 anyway. It is Friday the 13th, like Scott said. And by the way, this is our second to last episode for this season.
Oh, for season number 1.
Yeah. Returning Friday, September 10th for our second season, which going forward will be the normal route, because even for streamers just like regular terrestrial TV and cable, that nothing happens during the summer. I struggle to find things for us to there's plenty of news, but nothing to watch really.
It feels like September is a good time to start new. Kids go back to school, TV shows come back on the networks, and so season 2 of the Binge Bum podcast makes a lot of sense, coming back September 10th.
Exactly. Yeah. So we'll have exactly 30 shows under our belt.
There you go.
Next week for this first season.
It was a short first season, like many shows.
Well, the first season, how you get your footing and figure out what worked, what doesn't work, what things you want to change, and maybe there's a couple things that are coming for the second season. You never know.
I think the second season needs all new hosts. Should we get right into it?
We'll be on the lookout for those. Yeah. Starting with some Netflix news. The new Netflix series Wednesday has announced that they've cast the character of Gomez, Luis Guzman, you know him from Boogie Nights, Shameless, and Traffic, will play the iconic patriarch of the Addams Family.
I love him so much.
He's great.
Yeah. And
this isn't the only news that we know. I think this was reported. We probably even talked about it maybe a month or 2 ago, because this has been in the works for a little while.
Yeah.
Catherine Zeta-Jones will play Morticia Addams, and Jenna Ortega will play Wednesday, who this whole show centers all around.
Nice. Jenna Ortega has been on Jane the Virgin, and she's been on a couple of the Iron Man movies. She's done a lot of stuff. And
was she Jane the Virgin?
No, she wasn't Jane the Virgin,
That's
but
right,
she was
right.
on the show.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is directed by Tim Burton, so I'm loving it already.
Yeah, of course. If he's behind it, it's going to be quality.
Yeah, and the series is described as one of those like coming-of-age comedies following Wednesday Addams as a student at the Nevermore Academy.
And I found this out. There was a bidding war for this show. Every single streamer wanted this because of Tim Burton. This is Tim Burton's first time doing a television show. He's only done movies up until now.
Right.
And we're expecting this late in 2022. A lot of people think maybe Halloween 2022 would be a perfect time for this to premiere. But they're thinking that maybe the window's not large enough and it might be early 2023.
Well, what I don't want it to happen. What I feel is going to happen is that there's going to be more pandemic setbacks as we get back into the winter.
Oh, can we
and
not,
it's going to
please
stop
not talk
production.
about that?
I know,
No.
but we have to, because this is what's holding up everything.
Well, if they can get their crap together, it's going to be 8 60-minute episodes. So
I like it.
8 hours of Wednesday. For
Even
Netflix.
if it comes in 2023, I think whatever year that it does come out, I think they need to wait I think it needs to premiere like October 1st or late September. These fall months.
Having it come out in the fall would be absolutely perfect. I agree with that.
It feels right.
Yeah. Also from Netflix, Stranger Things 4 has finally kind of coming. We're not getting an exact date.
No.
But it's been 25 months. That's a long time since the release of the third season of Stranger Things, which has been a huge juggernaut for Netflix. But we're going to have to wait a little bit longer. It looks like it's probably going to be into 2022 before we see it. The reason for the delay is because they've really ramped up stuff for season 4. It's more expensive.
Expansive.
Probably
more expensive.
It's also probably more expensive, Dale. The filming takes place not only in Georgia, but also in New Mexico and Lithuania.
Ooh, because there is some sort of plot where someone's taken to Russia. So I assume that's where Lithuania comes in.
Okay.
Because I don't think Americans are even allowed to do a movie in Russia. In the real Russia, anyway.
I don't know any of that.
Hey, have you ever had your sights on being a reality TV star?
Yes. It's really a star.
A star?
Yeah.
I know you have.
Well, I have. I've tried out for several reality TV shows.
We don't need to go down that road again.
Okay, we could, but
anyway, Netflix is currently holding its largest casting call ever. If you've ever dreamed of being a reality TV series star, here's your chance.
They've
got this whole website. It's netflixreality.com. You go there. You submit, I believe, no longer than a 1-minute video. And the shows include, and this isn't all of them, Nailed It, Queer Eye, The Circle, Too Hot to Handle, Love is Blind, Dream Home Makeover.
Oh, I like that one.
So if you're able to actually submit your home, maybe we should do that.
There's nothing wrong with our home. We've already made it over into our dream home.
But normally when you have those, you're given like 2 or 3 rooms that you're allowed to make over within this thing.
Yeah, they don't do the whole house.
So we have a couple.
All right.
The Floor is Lava. Never heard of it. Roaring 20s, The American Barbecue Showdown, and there's several more.
Okay, I'm loving American Barbecue Showdown. You and I love to barbecue, and also.
I don't want to compete.
Well, no. I don't want to be on any of these shows. Certainly not Queer Eye, because you have to be straight to be on that show. But excited about this. Reality is hot. It's hot on cable. It's hot on broadcast, and Netflix thinks it's going to be the future, I guess.
It's been hot for a minute, man.
For a minute. You got Prime news?
I do. Hey, the YA drama Panic. We've talked about this before.
Oh.
We actually enjoyed it.
Yes.
Did we not?
I'm sad about this.
Yeah. We learned it will not be coming back for a second season. We talked about this many times. This was the series that centered around some senior high school graduates in like a really tiny, crappy town in Texas.
Carp,
Texas. And the graduating class were eligible to play this really dangerous game to win a lot of money and to hopefully escape their small town life.
Of course, it all went bad.
Right. The reason? It didn't grab the viewers.
Hey, listen, that's the reason most shows are not renewed.
Right. I thought it was well done.
I thought it was really well done, and I really liked it. And if you watched Panic, and even if you guys haven't seen it and you know that it's not going to have a second season, check it out. It's worth a view.
Well, here's the second reason why it's not getting picked up again, is because the writers and Netflix also thought that it was done. It told and completed a story, and that story was satisfactory.
Oh, I don't know. It kind of ended with a little cliffhanger there at the end, but I guess that could be left up to your imagination.
I mean, they told the story of Panic. We've seen what they've gone through.
Sure.
The main character whose name escapes me. Yes, there could have gone on and been a whole thing about that, but that's a whole nother show. I mean, because something completely entirely different.
All right, but I would still recommend it if you guys haven't checked it out. Everyone has Prime, so check out Panic.
It's nice. Well, right. Even though it's a series, it's nice to know that at the end, it's not like one of those series that
leaves you hanging.
Ended with a cliffhanger, thinking they were going to get a second episode or a second season, and it just never happens. So you're just strung out there.
Right, like Netflix did with Outer Banks. I mean, it totally left with a huge cliffhanger, and of course it was picked up for season 2, and we were very satisfied. So
knowing what we've told you, you can watch this, and I think you'll be satisfied.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. And just speaking about Outer Banks just for a second, we finally finished it. We were very satisfied. I thought season 2 was really great, if not implausible.
Yeah.
But it was still fun.
I mean, even the first one had some of those little things. It's just hard to believe. But they've also set this up, obviously, for a third season. And I think it's going to happen. But I'm willing to bet that 3 will be the final.
Absolutely. Yeah. I agree with you on that. But they need to wrap it up. I mean, I don't want to give it away. No spoilers here if you haven't watched Outer Banks season 2. But everything's not resolved at the end.
No,
so
it's not.
we need one more season.
Yeah.
And I would really enjoy one more season.
Right. I think one more and done. I think it's great. The characters are fantastic. I think they have a career ahead of them.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah.
They're all great.
They're great.
So I'd be happy with one more. Please, it has to have one more. Don't leave that hanging. But I also, wait a minute. I also don't want one more. Like a Netflix says, all right, we got one more.
Right.
And then they try to take a story that they have in their head and condense it to one season and it just becomes a shitty mess.
I don't know.
We've seen those before, too.
We have seen those.
It's just not, I think Game of Thrones is one of them.
Yes.
It's just a shitty mess at the end.
Let's just hope that doesn't happen. Hulu news, The Orville. We've been waiting a long time for this. The former Fox sci-fi drama The Orville is finally coming to Hulu for its 3rd season.
Woohoo.
It moved from Fox, which was the broadcast network Fox, to Hulu back in 2019, but hasn't seen the light of day on Hulu quite yet because the pandemic halted production twice since then. While not providing an exact premiere date, the producers behind the show says that they're hopeful for a premiere sometime soon.
That's all we get.
Who knows?
I do know that, so the pandemic halted production the first time, and when they came back, between the time that they were back and before it got shut down for the second time, they got half of the episodes in. I did read that.
So they
got half of it in the can.
Oh, so half of the season 3 is already done.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Right.
Nice.
So
I've actually seen the soundstage where they make the Orville.
I think it's a little crazy and just it's a little kooky.
Yeah,
it's like, not my cup of tea. It's like a
Star Trek comedy.
Right.
Yeah. And Seth MacFarlane is great, but I think he could be used better elsewhere. But you know, if this is working for him, he's making $1.
But I also think he enjoys these things. Like this is up his alley. Yes, he could do. Anything. He should go on Broadway. He should go on. The man should be on Broadway.
The guy can sing.
Right.
Let me tell you.
So, but if he's enjoying doing this, let him be.
All right.
I kind of don't want to tell this news because I think this is very sad.
I don't know.
This is like
don't do it because there's going to be more from the creator.
Yeah, there is. What I'm talking about is the end may possibly be very near for The Handmaid's Tale. While currently writing the 5th season, there are talks between showrunners and Hulu they're basically trying to determine the best way to end this series.
Right.
Basically, the book is coming to an end and they're telling that story.
Right.
And what I've read and what the conclusion that everyone else has kind of come to is that they have this sequel series for the 2nd book of Margaret Atwood in the can, or not in the can, but they're ready to produce it. Right. And that's what so they want to start moving forward with it.
Got it.
And also to end on a high note for Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah. Well, her 2nd book is called The Testaments, and it's definitely going to be a series that's already been greenlit at Hulu, so that's coming. So maybe they just want to wrap up Handmaid's Tale with season 5 and go out on a high note, and then come in and do something totally different with Margaret's next book.
The 2nd book.
Yeah, I think that's great. Cool.
So the 5th season maybe is last for Handmaid's Tale, but there's more to come.
That's true. Also for Hulu, we got some How I Met Your Father news. Now this is I don't know. It's not a reboot. It's just kind of not a continuation. It's just kind of
none of those things.
It's a brand new thing with kind of the same premise.
Right.
But this time it's the female, where this chick named Sophie will be telling her son the story of how she met his father. Mm-hmm. So just like How I Met Your Mother, the CBS sitcom that ran for several years, it's now going to be on Hulu. It's called How I Met Your Father, and they announced the cast this past Tuesday. The Sophie, we already knew this. Hilary Duff is playing Sophie, the main character. She's also a producer on the series. A guy named Chris Lowell will be playing Jesse. Francia Reza is playing Valentina.
I think so, yeah.
Teen Tran is Ellen Siraj Sarama is playing Sid, and Tom Ainsley is playing Charlie. The premiere date has not been announced yet, but I know they're working very hard on this to try to figure out how to...
So I'm wondering, I know it's going to be very similar. They're telling just basically the opposite story from How I Met Your Mother.
Right.
But what the thing is that I haven't been able to nail down is, are the characters going to be, they have different names, but are they going to play similar characters? Like, who's the Barney in this?
I don't know. I'm sure there's a Barney type character. I'm sure there's a pretty girl type character.
Right.
I'm sure there's a slobby type character. Yeah, so they're gonna cover all their bases there. This is a one camera comedy show. I think I like the original, so it'll be kind of interesting to see what they come up with. That's coming to Hulu probably sometime next year.
Yeah,
I love this.
Yeah, because I don't think they've even started doing anything yet on this.
No, they're just finished casting.
Right. Moving on to Apple TV Plus, Vince Vaughn has signed on to star and executive produce the drama Bad Monkey for Apple TV Plus.
I'm so excited about this.
You know about this?
I have the book up in my library.
I feel like I know about this, and then when I went on searching, it was completely different. You know what I was thinking about? The other monkey movie with the one that people were talking about right when the
pandemic started, right?
The pandemic started.
Well, no, this is based on a 2013 Carl Hiaasen novel, and I am a huge Carl Hiaasen fan. It was a huge New York Times bestseller, and this is going to be a 10-episode series that starts shooting later this year.
Have you read the book?
Yeah, I've read the book.
Yeah,
it's his books are very dark humor.
I was going to say, because this was listed as a comedy.
It's funny, but it's also very dark.
All right, well, here's what Apple gave us. It says, Bad Monkey tells the story of Andrew Yancey, a one-time detective demoted to a restaurant inspector in southern Florida, when a severed arm is found by a tourist out fishing, then pulls Yancey into the world of greed, corruption that decimates the land and environment in both Florida and the Bahamas. And yes, there's the monkey.
Of course there's a monkey, and because it's called Bad Monkey. And all of Carl Hiaasen's books take place in southern Florida, and all of them have greed and corruption and things that decimate the land and environment. That's what Carl Hiaasen writes about. So every single one of his book is the same in that vein. But they're very creative. They're very dark. They're very funny. And I think Bad Monkey, and Vince Vaughn is the perfect person to play.
Is he for that? Yeah.
And this reminds me, because last week I could not remember the actor that was playing opposite Reese Witherspoon in Four Christmases. It was Vince Vaughn.
It was Vince Vaughn. Yeah. See how we come back full circle now. HBO Max has released a trailer for the second season of The Other Two. We talked about this last week. This was a favorite of mine. You watched the whole season, right? Or did we watch it together?
Yeah, we watched it together, and I loved it.
Yeah. So this was originally on Comedy Central, I believe. Molly Shannon's mother character, Pat, gets her own talk show this season.
Yeah, that's kind of the big thing.
That's a big thing. Yeah. But I think it's still where the teeth bite the nail are the two siblings. It has to be, because it's called The Other Two.
It's all about them.
Yeah. And the one thing is, which is so funny, and if they continue this, I love it, is that this all comes about from their younger sibling, who's like 16,
like a Justin Bieber type,
who is Justin Bieber, this big time super pop star, and he has nothing to do with it. You see him occasionally in the first season, and I love that. Everything is literally about the two siblings, which are funny.
No, but here's the thing that's just a slap in the face to the other two, is that now, first just their brother becomes a Justin Bieber type breakout star, and now their mother, who's a total whack job, Molly Shannon's character, Pat, gets her own talk show. So more embarrassment for them.
Right. Yeah, because I think we left off. The son was a waiter, and I cannot for the life of me think of what she ended up doing. I thought she was like this like Girl Friday kind of thing, or like,
I don't know, but
wanting to be like this assistant to celebrity, but it just never panned out.
And now she's working on her mother's television show. So yeah, it looks really funny. It's totally off the wall. It's totally R-rated. Maybe almost X-rated. There's some very sexy stuff in there, but it looks huge. It looks really good. I cannot wait.
And it was so good while it was on Comedy Central, and that now that it's on HBO Max, they get a little bit more freedom.
Oh, yeah.
It would be great to go even further.
Yeah, we're looking forward to this. Do we have a date on this yet?
No date. No. Oh, the reason why I brought this up is because I think we brought this up last week, and with just some news. Now we have a trailer.
Yes, and I watched it.
Yes.
Yeah,
and
it's
so
hilarious.
we're gonna let everyone know. We're gonna put those up on our socials. It's funny. You gotta watch it.
It'll be up on Facebook today because I love it so much.
Unqualified opinions.
Well, okay, we have two things, and they're both Disney-fied today. Excited about both of them. So
Are you?
Yeah, I am, actually. We watched them both since the last time we talked to you. First of all, we're talking about Disney Plus's Behind the Attraction, which we talked about before it came out. Dale and I have watched the first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
And not surprisingly, the very first episode is about Jungle Cruise. I wonder why they picked that one to be the first one.
I know, right?
They're crazy. So this is I guess it's about 45 minutes. And it's
something like that.
It's a documentary. It's very fast paced. It gives you basically the history of how the ride and attractions at Disneyland and Disney World and all around the world. Because they talk about Tokyo and they talk about Paris and they talk about Beijing or wherever.
They get more into that, into Haunted Mansion, and it's fun to know. They actually, and why I'm disappointed in this series is like it's called Haunted Mansion here, but it's called other things somewhere else. But they never go into details.
They didn't go into so you're getting a little ahead of yourself. But for the critique of it, yes, I the format of it we didn't love, and we didn't love the person who's doing the voiceovers. The kind of
narration.
The narrator.
Yeah.
And it's not like, so Disney Plus has tons and tons of documentaries about Disney.
Right.
And a lot of them we love. I love the Prop Masters one that they did. I
Right.
love the behind the scenes things on movies and TV shows and stuff that they've done. This one is fun and I learned a lot, but it's not exactly what I wanted it to be.
Right.
And if you guys just check out one episode, I think they're worth watching, but I think you might be a little annoyed by the way they present the information.
It's the narrator. If that went away, it would be 10 times better.
So the first episode is Jungle Cruise. The second episode is Pirates of the Caribbean. And it's
the second episode is Haunted Mansion.
Haunted Mansion. Sorry. Haunted Mansion. I've got pirates on the brain. I don't know why. Because they talked about pirates in Haunted Mansion, and they were kind of... Yeah. There's a lot there. And I think I learned more about how they put together Haunted Mansion in the second episode. There was lots of interviews with the actual people who were there creating it. Basically, when I was born, I mean, it's like 50 years old, Haunted Mansion.
Yeah, it was in the 70s.
It really
early
goes,
70s.
It goes back. So it's an interesting show. I think you'll learn a lot.
I just wish it was different. I wish it was presented to us differently.
Yeah.
And then one of my biggest things that it was, I don't think they go far enough. But then, as I said that earlier, and you said I'm getting ahead of myself, and then I thought was that might be on purpose.
Yeah, I wanted more.
Disney is secretive, right, on how they make things.
Yeah.
So maybe that is on purpose. Like, we're never going to know how they made the head in the Haunted Mansion. We just know it's someone's grandmother. We learned that.
All right, so the one thing that
we never got really behind the scenes.
Right. But the one thing that I thought was really cool from the Haunted Mansion thing is, so when you're in the queue and you're waiting in line to go in and you go into that house, it's just a house.
Right.
It's about the size of maybe a 2,000 square foot house. You don't actually, none of the ride is in there.
The house is empty.
That's where the elevator is. You go down and then you go through a tunnel and there's a huge building off behind the trees. That's where the ride is.
Yeah, I believe it said it took you, like tens and tens of feet down.
Yeah.
And then once you get off, then you're walking through, and they showed like this kind of layout of this, and there's a building behind it. So nothing takes place in the house.
It all takes place in a warehouse.
In the back.
Well off in the back.
Right.
And that's a lot of the rides are like that.
Well, of course. Yeah. Make it pretty in the front and business in the back. It's a mullet. It's the mullet of the theme park.
Could say that about a lot of things. We also watched, just last night, we watched Jungle Cruise. Now, we told you this is one of the day and dates. Is that true?
Kind of.
Kind of.
It's premiere access for Disney Plus.
But they're also releasing it in theaters. So Jungle Cruise is available in theaters right now. And if you want to watch it, if you're a Disney Plus subscriber, you got to pay an extra $30 to watch it at home.
It's a big
until you said Friday, November 12th.
Exactly.
That's when it'll be available for everyone.
For everyone.
For no extra fee.
No extra, just your normal Disney Plus subscription.
However, I don't think you guys should wait. I think you should plop down the $30 and watch it. I think it was very fun.
I found it very enjoyable.
I really enjoyed it.
Very enjoyable. I think the cast was great. Emily Blunt and Dwayne Johnson worked great with each other. I knew Jack Whitehall, and I did not know he was in this until the film turned on.
Yeah.
Jesse Plemons, I believe is his name, who plays the angry fat German.
Okay. Yeah.
Love him. And then Paul Giamatti can do anything.
Yeah. So there's several villains in this, and he just named most of them. And Dwayne Johnson is, of course, the skipper on the Jungle Cruise, and Emily Blunt is a botanist who is after a secretive tree that can help save the world.
The Tears of the Tree.
Yeah, it's quite an epic journey that they go through down the Amazon. And anyway, some of my friends who were actual film critics thought the movie was about a half an hour too long. I disagree. I thought the movie was...
I thought it was great the way it was.
It's 2 hours and 9 minutes. Mm-hmm. It is a hefty movie, but I think it was perfect. And
we did take a break.
I was thinking... We
got
did
some ice cream.
Well, we always take a break in long movies, and that's what's great about watching something at home. That's why we love streaming video, right? You can stop it and not miss anything. But yeah, it's really fun. I did not realize that there's a lot of supernatural stuff in this. It's not all just realistic.
Well, it tells a story of a legend.
Yeah.
There's a legend and things.
It's more Pirates of the Caribbean
and
movie-ish.
I don't want to say much because there was a very surprising moment in the middle of this.
Yeah, no,
I don't want to say
I won't say
more.
anything else, although I think there's some great comic relief in this. Dwayne Johnson is very funny. Emily Blunt is funny. The guy who plays her brother is
right.
The comic relief character.
Jack Whitehall.
Yeah, Jack Whitehall. He's wonderful in this. Everyone's great in this, and they spent a lot of money on this. You can tell.
Can we make one recommendation? Is that everyone who is going to watch Jungle Cruise, watch the first episode of Behind the Attraction.
Yeah.
First.
Before.
Because we did.
And you'll get.
And everything just kind of it all fell together.
Some of the jokes.
It all fell together.
Some of the jokes will make so much.
So watch episode 1 of Behind the Attraction Jungle Cruise. And then watch Jungle Cruise.
There you go.
And you will thank us for it.
All right. So we're recommending Jungle Cruise, Disney Plus. Pay the money. See it.
New shows are coming your way. It's coming soon.
All right. We got a couple of exciting shows that are coming soon. The first one coming to Netflix is called Worth. Now, this is coming out on September 3rd. I want to preface this by saying, so this is a film about the attacks on September 11th. The thing is I don't want to get too heavy because everyone feels differently about this whole thing. However, I think this is different, and that's why this is on this list, is that it's not about any planes hitting buildings. This is the story based on a true story of the aftermath of that thing that happened. And here is the description of the film. It's an attorney learns a lesson in empathy when he is faced with a near impossible task of determining how to compensate families who suffered losses in the September 11th attack.
Yeah, how do you value a life?
Right.
And that's the whole, there's where the title of the movie comes from, Worth. What are you worth?
Right.
It reminds me of a story I saw this week in the news about a man who was wrongly convicted of a murder and spent 20 years in prison, and the state of Nevada gave him $2 million. Really? $2 million? Is that what you get for doing 20 years in prison wrongly? Seems like it should be a lot more. And that's what this whole movie is about. What is a worth life? What is a life worth?
Right.
Can I put it in the right order? Yeah, I mean, it's heavy stuff. This is not a comedy.
No.
But it has some wonderful people in it that we love who can do both comedy and drama. Michael Keaton and Stanley Tucci. Love both of them. Amy Ryan is in this. Mm-hmm. This looks really good. It's a film. It's coming September 3rd. That's just around the corner, right before September 11th, which is the 20th anniversary of the 20 of 9/11.
Yeah, this is going to be a big year for this one.
Yeah, there'll probably be lots of things going on.
I hesitated putting this one on, but I think this one's going to be worth a watch because it's not about the actual horrific things that have happened. It's the
about
aftermath
the aftermath
and how the country tried to deal with this horrible, massive thing. That
Yeah. All right. Also excited about this one. This is from Clint Eastwood, who, this man is never going to stop. He is an actor. He's a producer. He's a director, and he's making his first film for streaming for HBO Max. It's coming September 17th. It's called Cry Macho. It's back in the late 1970s, and he plays this washed-up rodeo star and former horse breeder who's taken a job to go down to Mexico and basically kind of rescue the son of a friend of his.
Right.
So they're going on the back roads of Texas and down into Mexico to try to get this kid back. And the guy he's playing opposite is Dwight Yoakam, the country star, who is a good actor in his own right.
Yes.
Love him to death. And this looks great. This is one of HBO's and Warner Brothers day and date releases. Mm-hmm. So it will be in theaters also on September 17th for 31 days. You can watch it on streaming and in the theaters, and then it'll go away, and then it'll come back at some point. But man, Clint Eastwood is looking old, but he's still got that same gravelly, wonderful voice, and he's still on the top of his game.
I mean, it's one of those things that I feel like in all of his movies, he plays the same exact character.
Yes.
However, you want to watch them. You want to watch this
because
man.
He's so good at playing that character.
Right. Yes. He plays the kind of the same thing. But
the grizzly old guy.
Yeah, but I'm also excited about Dwight Yoakam, who I actually thought was sick. I won't go into it anymore. Yeah, I thought he was kind of dealing with something. So I was surprised when I found his name.
I guess he's
in this. So
cool.
That's going to be fun.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Dwight Yoakam was also in the very first National Treasure movie.
I did not know that.
He was an invited guest to the White House for the president, right when whatchamacallit dug under, the secret room, whatever. We'll go into it. But yes, so we've seen him before in movies. I mean, he was just hi there, I'm here.
Yeah, he's done some stuff.
Yeah. Last on our list is season 3 of Doom Patrol coming to HBO Max on September 23rd. I mean, there's nothing to describe here.
It's almost undescribable because this series is so friggin' weird.
It is weird.
Take Marvel and DC and just put it up a notch.
Right.
It's crazy.
And you got Matt Bomer and Brendan Fraser.
Yeah.
So if you know about this, you're excited about this, you've been fans of this, there's no explanation needed of this. Right. It's coming. September 23rd on HBO Max.
Well, good. I'm glad you said that because I don't know how to describe it.
We're gonna tell you what to watch this week. It's time for Up Next.
All right, we only have a couple for you this week, and then we're going to get into something just a little special for today. But up first, dropping today, basically, on Apple TV Plus is Coda. I'm actually a little excited about this.
Yeah, we've been waiting for this one.
Yeah, so we've talked about this a couple times before. It's finally out today, and basically what this story centers around is a daughter who is basically what they call a coda. She's a child of deaf adults. I didn't know what that meant until the first time that we actually talked about this. But she has found she has an amazing voice. She wants to become a singer, and she has a deaf mother, father, and brother, and is going to school to be this whole singer. But it's kind of sad in some parts, but there's also a lot of comedy. I've seen some clips of the show, especially some conversations between Ruby, the star, who is the daughter, and her brother. Like, they act like brother and sister. It's just in sign language, but there's little subtitles. I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's going to be funny.
Yeah.
And
the problem is that her family runs a fishing boat, and they need her because the authorities that God knows who those authorities are, have decided that there has to be at least one hearing person on their boat.
Right.
So if she leaves to go to singing school, which they don't understand because they can't even hear her sing,
right.
Their business is going to tank. So this is where the family drama comes in. This stars Marlee Matlin, who is probably one of the most famous deaf actresses of our time.
Yeah.
And some other really great people. So we're excited about this. This drops today. We might actually watch it tonight on Apple TV Plus.
I want to watch it.
And then finally, what we're really excited about, coming next Wednesday, August 18th, at Hulu. It's a movie called 9 Perfect Strangers. We've talked about this before. I think I've posted the trailer for this. We love it. I don't know how Nicole Kidman finds time to do everything she does, but she's headlining this movie. It takes place at a boutique health and wellness resort that promises healing and transformation. And as 9 stressed city dwellers come to her place of business, of course, it sounds very White Lotus-like, doesn't it?
It is almost.
So
yes.
everyone's bringing their own shit to her place. And then, of course, there's all kinds of mayhem that happens once they all get there. Melissa McCarthy is in this. Regina Hall is in this. Bobby Cannavale, who I absolutely love. He's good in comedy and drama. This is kind of a dark comedy. I think there's some comedy in here, but I think it's more dark drama-ish.
Right.
9 Perfect Strangers, Hulu, August 13th. Yeah.
And we have a little something special for everyone this week. And
that?
these, because it is Friday the 13th.
Oh,
I think we should sort of kind of celebrate this. So if you were wondering where to go, if you are like a cable cutter, like we all want to be, I have some films and where to find them for you for this Friday the 13th.
Oh, okay.
So the film Friday the 13th, unfortunately, can't get the original one. You got to get the 2009. It's on HBO Max.
Okay.
So you can watch that.
Oh, you're saying the original one's not currently on streaming?
Correct. You can rent it, but
you got to pay.
I'm trying to find things that are available for free with your current subscription to these streamers.
Got it.
The second one, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the 2003 version, also available on HBO Max. The Exorcist, the original 1973, is available on Peacock. Psycho from 1960. Is there another Psycho?
Yeah, there was a remake.
Oh, was there? Okay, that's also on Peacock.
With Vince Vaughn.
Oh, man. Maybe we should just rename this whole thing on Vince Vaughn.
The Vince Vaughn episode.
Right. Poltergeist from 1982 is on HBO Max.
Can I just say
Yeah.
that was probably the first scary movie that my sister and I ever watched.
Really?
My parents specifically told us not to watch it.
Yeah.
And we watched it like 100 times because we had HBO.
Right.
And I was 12 years old when that came out, and it scared the shit out of me. I still love it to this day.
Right. And I did watch it. However, one of the very first memories of a horror movie that I saw is actually what's coming up next. The Ghoulies. 1985 on HBO Max. You know what the Ghoulies is, right?
I don't know that I've ever seen it.
Yeah, it's just these little green things, but it's not even scary. Maybe it was when we were kids. It's more funny. Like what the hell and funny. Yeah. I believe they made like
Gremlins.
Almost. Yeah. But they made like a Ghoulies 2 and 3, and the one scene I can never get out of my head is they were at a carnival and a guy goes to like a porta potty and one of the Ghoulies is in the toilet, and so the guy sits down. I mean, you don't see anything, but you realize what's happening. It's just stupid.
I think Ghoulies was a total ripoff of the Gremlins.
Right?
Yeah.
A Nightmare on Elm Street. Peacock has all originals 1 through 5, and also the new one from 2010.
Cool.
So that's kind of, if you want like an original Friday the 13th, you can go with A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Got it.
Right? The Blair Witch Project from 1999 is on Hulu.
I hated that.
Your favorite horror of all time is Saw. 1 through 7 are all on HBO Max.
I don't want 1 or 7. None of them.
Right. And I thought this was fun. I needed to include this because this is actually a pretty big deal if you think about it. And these are pretty brand new. It's A Quiet Place 1 and 2 are available on Paramount Plus with your regular streaming package.
No, that's very cool. And
we haven't seen it, but I actually want to watch them.
Either one. So I'm excited about that. I only have one question.
What?
Where's Scream? Scream's the best.
Do you know that I could have filled 10 pages with things for Friday the 13th? So I picked out what I liked.
Okay.
But anyway, want to thank you for listening to this episode of the Binge Bump Podcast. If you like a show, be sure to rate us wherever you like to listen to podcasts. We'll be back next week for one last time for this season. And in the meantime, happy binging.
Happy binging, y'all.